Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's November 17, 2022 and Barcelona have the best defensive record in Europe's top 5 leagues. Also, the club are currently tracking Arsenal's prodigy Charlie Patino, and Alejandro Balde could be going to the World Cup after all. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin with the news that Barcelona have the best defensive record in Europe's top 5 leagues, having only conceded 5 goals in 14 matches. Now, to put this in perspective, Serie A's team with the best defensive record is currently Juventus, who have conceded 7 goals in 14 matches. And when you look at Ligue 1, the team with the best defensive record is PSG, having conceded 9 goals in 15 matches. And even when you look at La Liga, the team with the second best defensive record is Valencia, who have conceded 10 goals so far, which is double the goals that Barcelona have conceded. Now, in the Premier League, the two teams with the best defensive records are both Arsenal and Newcastle, who have conceded 11 goals. And in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich have the best defensive record with 13 goals conceded. And this is a great testament to the great job that Xavi has been doing since his arrival at the club, where he has addressed one of Barcelona's biggest weaknesses, which is the defense. Now, speaking of arrivals at the club, Barcelona have announced a new documentary called New Era that will discuss everything that has happened at the club ever since the infamous defeat at the hands of Bayern Munich 82 in the Champions League. Now, this documentary will consist of 5 30-minute episodes that will discuss everything that has happened at the club since that defeat, including the defeat itself, the departure of Lionel Messi, the arrival of Xavi, and the arrival of Robert Lewandowski. Now, this documentary will launch in December and it will air on Prime Video. Now, before we continue with the news, if you're enjoying the content of this video, please consider hitting the like button. It would go a long way in prompting YouTube to recommend this video to other people. Also, if you're enjoying the content of this channel, please consider subscribing to it. Not only is it free, but in doing so, you would be helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Now, as I reported in yesterday's video, Joan Laporta confirmed that Barcelona will not be able to make any signings this winter transfer market due to La Liga's stringent financial fair play rules. Now, as a result, Joan Laporta announced that Barcelona, amongst other La Liga clubs, were in discussions with La Liga and Javier Tebas to try to gain some more flexibility and be allowed to sign players in the winter transfer market. And it's now being reported that Javier Tebas has informed Barcelona and the other clubs that there will be no flexibility and La Liga will continue to impose their stringent financial fair play rules on all of the clubs. Now, as a result, Barcelona are going to have to sell some players or are going to have to increase their revenue, especially since their revenue will decrease this upcoming seasons with the sale of the 25% of Barca media rights to the investment company Sixth Street. Now, on to the news that Barcelona are currently tracking Arsenal's prodigy Charlie Patino. Now, Patino is a 19-year-old midfielder who's currently at Arsenal's youth academy, and he's been at the youth academy since he was 12, and he's described as a midfielder with a great vision who can break lines with his vertical passes. Now, Charlie Patino has already represented England at the under-20 team, and Spain has tried to lure the youngster to their side, given that he has a Spanish nationality through his Spanish mother. Now, Charlie Patino's contract with Arsenal will expire in the summer of 2023, and Barcelona are trying to sign the young star. However, Arsenal's coach Mikel Arteta is insisting that Arsenal do everything in their power to try to renew the contract of the young prodigy. Now, as I reported in a previous video, Barcelona are planning to sign Arnau Martinez from Girona to reinforce the right-back position. Now, the former Barcelona youth player reaffirmed his desire to arrive at the club in a recent interview where he said that he'd be happy to come back to Barcelona. Now, the 19-year-old player also stated that he was made a Barcelona club member the day he was born, and he recalled fondly going to Barcelona matches with his family. Now, this is great news for Barcelona because it's always easier to sign players who dream to come to Barcelona and who have been Barcelona fans ever since they were kids. Now, on to the news that Alejandro Balde could be headed to the 2022 Qatar World Cup after all. Now, Spain played a friendly match yesterday against Jordan where they won 3-1, and with both Ansu Fati and Gavi scoring goals. And during that match, Spain's left back José Luis Gaya suffered a knock that could see him out of the World Cup. Now, it was initially thought that Gaya would miss the entire World Cup, but it's now being confirmed that the injury is not as serious. However, we'll not know for sure how serious his injury is until more medical tests are done on the Spanish left back. Now, as a result, Spain's coach Luis Enrique is now considering what other options he could call up to replace Jose Luis Gaya, and it's reported that Luis Enrique is deciding between either calling up Marcos Alonso or calling up Alejandro Balde. Now Luis Enrique will have a very difficult decision on his hands, because even though I believe Alejandro Balde is more talented than Marcos Alonso does bring that experience of having played top-flight football for much longer than Alejandro Balde, and also having represented Spain in the past. Now on to the news that it's looking less and less likely that Lionel Messi will come back to Barcelona, especially after the statements that he made in the recent interview. Now Lionel Messi spoke about his departure from Barcelona, and he talked about how he didn't want to leave the club and he wanted to extend his contract. However, he also added that he's now very happy not only playing at PSG, but that he's also very happy living in Paris, and that him and his family are constantly discovering a new magnificent city. Now Lionel Messi also added that he doesn't want to leave PSG until he has won a major trophy, and many people have inferred from these statements that Lionel Messi could be thinking about extending his contract with the Parisian side, especially if they don't win the Champions League this season. Now we will end today's video with 3 brief updates. The first one is that after Robert Lewandowski received a 3-match ban, Barcelona are now considering what options they can use to replace the Polish striker. Now it's reported that Xabi is considering to either playing Memphis Depay in the place of Lewandowski, or using Ansu Fati as a false 9, or even having Ferran Torres replace Lewandowski, who has already played in that central attacker position. And even though he hasn't been able to score many goals, Ferran Torres has shown some promise in that position with some great movements. Now the second update is that Frank Kessie has returned to his country of Ivory Coast so he can recover from his injury and he can continue working on recovering his form. Now the third and final update is that Endrick's father has confirmed that Real Madrid will be flying Endrick to Spain and giving him a tour of all their facilities, and they will be making an offer to the young player upon his visit. Now many people have concluded that Endrick will most likely be signing for Real Madrid, because Florentino Perez would not waste his time or money flying a young player all the way to Madrid. Now this was also a dumb move by Endrick's father, because per the rules, teams are not allowed to do this. However, it is Real Madrid after all, so it's very unlikely that they're going to receive any censures or fines for violating the rules. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Visca Barça.